Hello, everybody. Today I've got a special treat for you. I'm going to read a part of my book. This book, it's been selling really well. The people that I've given copies to really enjoy it. I'm going to skip to chapter 3. This is a chapter about what influenced me when I was very young to become a drug dealer. I'll read it right now. Chapter 3, My Formative Years. I'm going to take a short break from my story and take you back to when I was 12 years old. It was the summer of 1976, the year of the bicentennial. I was a month shy of turning 12 years old. My parents had been talking about it all year, saying the annual fireworks display down at the city park was going to be bigger and better than ever before because of the bicentennial. Back then, we didn't have cell phones. We were just curious kids. We got on our bikes and rode approximately 1.5 to 2 miles to the park a day or two in advance to see for ourselves what was going on. While we were sitting on our bikes, some older dude come up to us and said, "Hey, anybody want to buy some fireworks?" He said, "I got firecrackers, 50 cents a pack, 3 for $1." I thought to myself, that's a good deal. I had $3 on me and my brother had 4, so we bought as many as we could. But I knew I wanted more. Kids love firecrackers. Hell, I was only 12 years old. I asked him, "When are you going to be here next?" He said, "I'll be down here tonight. Tell your friends and get some more money. I'll meet you down here." I said, "Okay." So I went home, called up my friends, and we lit some of the firecrackers that I bought, and they all wanted to buy some too. So we pooled our money together and went back down to the park. Sure enough, there he was, sitting in a van with a big old bag of firecrackers. We walked right up to him. This time we weren't as afraid. He was cool, had all the answers, and even gave us an extra couple of packs. We thought he was the coolest dude around. We knew we were going to run out of fireworks again, so I asked him when he'd be down there next. He said, "I'll give you my address and only you can come over to my house." So when we ran out of fireworks and got some more money, I went over to his house. And let me tell you, I was scared. I'd never done anything like that before. I didn't know his last name or anything. I've always heard stories of Girl Scouts getting abducted while selling cookies and all kinds of weird stuff like that. Of course, that crap crossed my mind. The risk seemed small. I really wanted those firecrackers. So I knocked on the door, nervous as hell. He opened it and said, "Come on in." He had music playing, and he seemed like the coolest dude. And for some reason, even at 12 years old, I wanted to be that guy. That was my first brush with someone who had a hustle before knowing what a hustle was. I didn't know how much it would influence me, but it did. He was a professional. He knew exactly what he was doing, and years later I realized he was probably a drug dealer too. He told me, "If you want more fireworks, here's my phone number." He said, "You always come alone." I didn't realize the significance of that at the time, but when I left his house with those firecrackers and brought them back to my friends, suddenly I was the popular guy. I was the only one who could go there and buy fireworks from him. That moment stuck with me because 5 years later, I was selling marijuana the same way he had taught me. It was fun sneaking around, and it was fun being popular, having something that no one else could get. And that's basically what started it all. That planted a seed in me, and that told me that I didn't have to be like everyone else. At 12 years old, I realized that maybe I didn't have to train hard or throw a basketball at a metal hoop 10,000 times to be popular. Even up until that day, I got busted 40 years later. A part of me still felt like that same kid, but by then it had gotten way more complicated. I was surrounded by way different people than just a bunch of innocent 12-year-old buddies. It was weird to be popular and having friends blowing up my phone for the first time in my life. I was just a kid and knew nothing about psychology or what the word influence meant. I wouldn't learn about supply and demand for another 3 years when I got into high school. In 1976, I knew nothing about drugs or addiction. From time to time, my dad would talk about hippies smoking pot. All that did was create an obscure mental image. There were no computers, and you couldn't Google it or watch it on TV. The 70s were very confusing times for a 12-year-old boy. I can't believe that happened 50 years ago. Blowing out those firecrackers provided excitement that made me forget all about my strict Irish Catholic mother, my brother the bully, and every other thing that bothered me at the time. I felt I had to add this story from my past to show how substance use doesn't always start from trauma. In today's world, influence plays a big part. We are starting to realize that parental influence might be the key. So back to the story. And it goes on to chapter 4. Then we get back into the story of when I was manufacturing meth and selling it and beginning my double life that lasted for the next 17 years. Well, I hope you like this part of the story. I think about it all the time because it happened so long ago, and I can remember it like it was yesterday. Like every other story in this book, when I read them, it's like it just happened yesterday. But if you want a good story to read, 300 pages, here it is. You can find it on Amazon. I hope you check it out because you'll read it twice, 3 times. It tells the story of the prison I was locked into, but it was outside in the streets. I didn't start smoking meth till I was age 35. And I went for another 17 years. I made over 50,000 drug deals, at least. I'm not proud of it, but it's just my story. And you can find it here on Amazon. Thank you so much. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.